Hi, good morning, friends. It's Patty with Get Personal with Patty. This might be a little longer video because I am going to show you today our family budget, which comes from my husband's business, and then another paycheck budget sheet that represents the money that I get in weekly, and that pays for credit card debt, not fixed, variables, sinking funds, savings challenges. So I want to show you both because I am now using the Budget by Paycheck Workbook to do both. I just put this here. This is this is a Erin Condren notebook. And what I do with this one is using various stickers. These are from Jennifer Bleacher over at Life in Envelopes. I do his income, what he brings in the business, and then his expenses in the business, and then of course tracking his expenses, and then what he brings in, a portion of that goes into our joint account to pay fixed expenses. So I track that in here. Then he gets paid twice a month, so just kind of keep that in mind. So then I went back, I was using the box set, which I really liked, but then I wanted to really use the Budget by Paycheck workbook. I kind of missed having it large size and maybe, all in one book. That's kind of why I went back to it. So what I do, so as you can see, like on this page, I highlighted in pink in the corner so that I know this is the joint account. So this was the first paycheck, March 9th. And I use black ink. Okay. And it's really pretty, it's only fixed bills. So it's kind of, you're going to have I'm going to have the same worksheet every month because it's fixed bills that come out of there. And then I did have, when I first started the Budget Mom, which was 3 years ago, I bought the printable. So I still have that on my computer, which, that's, really good for people who maybe don't want to spend the money to get the workbooks or the box set, is to buy the printable. Excuse me, because then you always have it on your computer and you can just change up the paper, or if you want to use paper, or if you want to use like card stock, whatever you want to use, and you'll always have it. So sorry, I like it because then now that I'm doing it this way, I printed an 8.5 by 11 sheet, and on the second page, which normally this page, the cash envelope breakdown, I just taped it right over this page, and now I have, one extra in the weeks so that I can do a second family budget. So this is our family budget for the most recent checks. Actually $318 I did put here because $100 of my paycheck goes in here every month, and then $326, I put $326, but it's like $325 really, which was this past Friday. This is the family budget. So I'll go through that with you. And hopefully you can see this okay, because I'm kind of experimenting with a new light and holder, and boy, it takes a long time to get set up. Okay, so over here, just like my own, I have the check balance rollover. So the checking balance with a rollover was $4.51. I deposit $100 of my check on a weekly basis, which that's probably going to change to about $300 in April. Because my check is more because I am working for someone else and doing a little better money-wise. I'm getting more income with that company. And my husband, where he only gets paid twice a month, at least if there was like $300 going in weekly, if there were the bills that we could get ahead on, I think that'll help us get ahead on. So I put here $326 from business, and I transferred over $2,800. And then again, we had another $100 come in on the 26th from my account. So that was a total, another $100. And the total is $3,451. So we did go to CVS for some prescriptions. So I try not to use a joint, but if I'm not with my husband, for this kind of an expense for me to give him my debit card, then he'll use the debit card from the joint. But we very rarely use, I think, our debit card from our joint because I've deemed that as, it is for fixed expenses. But sometimes things happen. So we had an expense of, prescriptions for $38. Mortgage savings account, I put in $700. Now, these probably came from the 318 time. Sonova Solar came out on the 23rd. That was $160. A car payment of $200. And now this probably starts the end of the month with the 26th paycheck right from about here, because I know that that's at the end of the month. So our life insurance came out. Electric bill, I'm going to put something toward that. Comcast is $230. I don't know how much you guys pay for internet or TV, but I am ready to go, really down to basics, because I think $230 is quite a bit of money. And then we had the card checked out, but he didn't charge us, so that was kind of good. I put that in case he was going to charge us. And then the only really envelope that I have for our joint family account is my husband gets $50 a week, so I put in 25 from here the first week, and then 50 the second week, which was this past Friday. So I could just put the 26th, and this one was the 18th. And then gas, he did put gas in. It was $30.02. But usually, if we're out together on the weekend, we get gas, and it's taken out of my account. So then the only two other sinking funds that we're really working on in March and April is the tax account and landscaping. So if there's any left over, which there might be a little bit, I think we'll just take out, some money out of the ATM today and put it in our envelope. I already have envelopes started. So that's the family budget, which is really not, crazy. It's not a lot. This paycheck anyways, right? Oh, my computer's going to start talking to you in a minute. Okay. So then what I do is under one of the tracking expenses, because you do get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tracking expenses. So I wasn't sure how much I would really use. So this is the first time I'm using the book for both. So this is from my account. And I just did it because I like to use one sheet per week. I just split it when I color coded and tracked. I just split it with washi tape in between. So I know this is the first week, this is the second week. And again, this is from my account. This is the third week of spending, and then this is the fourth week of spending. So I might be able to obviously stretch that to another page when I do April, because look, this page is empty. And the joint is only this. So, and I still have 2 more pages. So in April, I'll be able to stretch it a little bit. Maybe do, I might actually even be able to do four separate expense trackers, and then 2, I think you get 6, so 2 weeks of the bi-monthly check. So, okay, I just didn't know how much I would use in tracking, so kind of want to make sure. The goal is, the challenge is that you only have this many spaces from here to here. So maybe you just watch what you're spending, right? And I do want April to be a less spending month for us. So maybe I challenge myself that, guess what, Patty? That's all you have for spending is that amount of lines. Don't go over them. That could be a challenge right in itself. Okay. So this was the fixed account, so the joint account tracking sheet from March 3rd to March 18th. So obviously I have to put in the March 25th tracking spending. But I do, like most people in the budget community, I do the highlight method, which I use different color highlights for different expenses. Green is obviously income I use. So I can look at this quickly and see what was deposited. Gray is when I transfer to my husband's account. Yellow is cushion. Pink is definitely fixed expenses. So as you can see, as this is the joint account, there's not a lot of different colors. There's brown here for gas, and there's like a yellowish for specialty grocery. We went and got coffee and a couple other little things in the beginning of the month. So this is what I do here. And then let me show you my March 25th paycheck for my account. So in my account, let's see, I'm using Blue Pen. So I have the paycheck date here of March 25th. And then my rollover cushion plus the check account balance was $133.52. One of my checks, I get 2 checks a week, but that's going to change as well because I am leaving one of the companies, is $104.50. My main job is $282.76. So right now, health insurance comes out the 1st and the 4th. I think it's the 1st and the 4th weeks of the month, but we're going to change that because the health insurance is going to be coming out of my husband's account. We're going to get health insurance through his business, and that'll be a tax write-off for us for next year. So that, again, is going to change the budget a little bit because we're not going to be able to take as much biweekly into the joint account if we're paying, $1,300 from the business account. So I'm already starting to look at April's budget, and I know it's March 27th. I have been looking at it, and I hope to do a video on what we're going to do. I mean, I know right off the bucket here, I know that I'm going to cut Etsy. And it's not because, I do work quite a bit of side hustles, and I'll show you one other little thing, but if I'm spending $300 or $200 in my side hustles for Etsy, then I have enough stickers for April, and I can use that $200 toward taxes or toward landscaping. And that's kind of how I have to look at it. It's great that I do side hustles and I get extra income, and that makes me think that, okay, I can spend money. I can buy my Etsy. Like, that's my hobby. This is my hobby. Budgeting, planning is my hobby, and I enjoy the stickers. But we really need to start funding the tax account and the landscaping account. And some of that money that I'm spending on Etsy can definitely go to those 2 accounts, those envelopes, savings envelopes. So that was a little sidebar. Sorry about that. I got carried away. So $720 is what I have to work with. My cushion was 100. I bumped it up to 125. And remember, if you watch my past videos, I was at 200. So I think I added another 25 to that to make it 150. So let's just use 125 for now. This brings it down to 595. And then this is what I budgeted. And then I am using this column as what I'm actually either putting in the envelope or what we're actually spending. So Dino, I had a rollover of 15. I believe I did add 20. So there's 35 in there for the week. Groceries, I did budget $50. So far, we've spent $13.37. We have to get a couple more things today. Household, I budgeted $20. We've already spent $14.22. Fun, I added that because we did go for ice cream, so I wanted to add it to something. And we like ice cream in the summer, so I figured I'd start a fun envelope anyways. So that was $12.96. I put $10 for my girls' night dinner out because I know we have a date coming up soon. And I got some light bowls for breakfast bowls out the other day for my coworkers and I. So that was, I don't think it was 51. I think it was 41. And I'm not going to do that this week either. I mean, my boss and I do change up oatmeal for salads, but I can't spend $41 a week, obviously, on my coworkers. 20 maybe. And then gas, we budgeted 90, and we haven't gotten gas yet. So that'd be probably today. I'm sure both cars need it. So then for sinking funds, I put sinking funds as here, as well as any challenges, savings challenges. And remember, this year I'm really concentrating on 2 savings challenges for the year. One is the reverse savings challenge, where last year I did just the monthly challenge. So January was $10, February is $20, March is $30. You done, 40, 50, 60. And then this year I started January with 120, which was December's. February saving 110, March saving 100, April will be 90, May will be 80. So it's just the reverse monthly challenge. If you do that from January to December, you end up with $780 at the end of the year. It's an extra $780 that I wouldn't have probably saved anywhere else. It's a savings challenge. I put the money right in an envelope, and I'm pretty disciplined about it, and I don't spend it. This year we do want to buy a new stove, and we're going to wait for Black Friday, so that savings will go right to the stove. So here's the reverse monthly. I put in 30, my word, and I do the word of the month. So every month I choose a word, and I correspond the dollar amount with the letter. So for March, it was gold, as in leprechauns. So GOLD. D is worth $4. A, B, C, right? A, B, C, D, $4. So D, I put in $4 in that envelope. New York trip is mid-April. So I said I was going to put 50. I haven't put anything in it yet, but I did get a little extra income. That's actually not on here, so I'll have to put that in there. I might put the 50 in. Alley is an automatic transfer of $50. That's going to be covering car maintenance, house maintenance. Anytime that we need something like major, we'll take it out of Alley. So recently we had my Jeep needed a part, and we did have a warranty, but my cost was still $176. So I actually took it out of my ING Capital One account, and then I'll eventually pay that back because that is a savings account for me. Taxes, I put in 50. I IOU'd $4 in Love. I IOU'd another $50, I think, here. So I put in 22. We found someone to walk Max twice a week. I put in 30 for that. Piano, I already had a rollover of 27, so I didn't need to add anything. And then more prescriptions. We have a new prescription plan, so that was $60. So these total $274. The balance was $131.78 left over, and I don't have anything yet in extra debt or extra savings. So on top of this, which I have not put in here yet, I did get a check for $350 for extra income, and so that'll obviously bump this up a little bit. I think I put 50, I don't know, somewhere. Or I paid extra debt. I did pay PayPal credit. That's another thing I need to stop using. It's so easy to go on Etsy and just use PayPal credit. And I do pay it. I don't just pay the minimum payments. I try to send payments, on a regular basis to PayPal credit. But still, it's another credit. And if you're trying to get out of debt, you can't keep adding credit. But it happens, and I'm cautious of it, and I'm just trying to. I stay cautious of it. I stay disciplined about it, and then I just pay it weekly. I start paying things weekly. But I can do away with Etsy for about a month. So then here's my cash annual breakdown. So I went to the bank Friday, took 20 out for dine out, groceries 35, max walking 30, and then taxes. Oh, I did take out $50 for taxes. Oh yes, I did have that here. Okay. And then my money thoughts, and I do like this in the workbook because it's really nice to just see where my thoughts are around money on a weekly basis, because I do these weekly. Taxes. We always owe taxes. We don't know how much it is yet. Our accountant hasn't got back to us. I can tell you if it's 13 or more, 13,000, that we'll have to file for an extension, because we just we have like 5 weeks to get that money together, and we don't. So I'm hoping, starting in July, fiscal year, that we are at a better place where we could start saving weekly or bi-weekly to put in the tax account. We just have to do it. We know every year we pay. My husband is self-employed. He gets a 1099 at the end of the year. It just has to be done, because trying to scramble at the last minute to get tax money can be really stressful. I don't feel that stressed about it this year. Last year was worse. But, I don't want to feel that overwhelmness, because we do so well. I do so well keeping track of our budget week to week and using this method that makes me a little nervous that we don't have money in our tax account. So we need to do that starting in July. All right, so that is my budget for this week, both in my account as well as the joint account. And then, of course, I use the tracking as I showed you earlier, and I'll just update these. So then, like, come Tuesday or Wednesday, because next Friday is the 1st, and that'll go into April, I can start filling out where did my money go sheet with both the joint and my account expenses. So hey, thanks. If you watched this whole video with me, I appreciate that you were here and listening to me, and I appreciate if you would hit that like button or subscribe. I do want to say one more thing because I just went ahead and bought myself another one. So this is the Budget by Paycheck Workbook. This is the paint stroke. Now, I don't know if you saw the Budget Mom's recent post on Instagram. I think it was about 3 weeks ago. Because these are so expensive to make with inflation and everything that's happened in our world in the last year, she is not creating a new workbook for this October, which is usually her release. She is not creating a new workbook. She's only going to do it via the PDF that you have to download. So if you like the hands-on workbook like I do, I went and I ran to get another Budget by Paycheck workbook. I won't use it till January of next year, but I have it, and it cost me $60, but I feel better knowing that I have it. So do the same now. The box sets are 50% off. The Budget by Paycheck workbook is the full price, but she does have some in stock. They have lots of the box sets left, but if you like the workbook, I would recommend getting it now and just putting it on a shelf very high, and then you'll have it in January. So thanks for watching, everybody. Bye.